The following is the Impact Podcast with Pastor Alex Lappos. For the next 15 minutes, you will be challenged, provoked, and inspired like never before, as we discuss topics very few are willing to touch. And now here is Alex Lappos with Impact.
Dr. G is a high school buddy of mine who is a clinical psychologist specializing in sexual behavior. He's an avowed atheist and believes that the more sex partners one has, the more the human race develops and thrives. Of course, the facts state otherwise, and even his colleagues would disagree with him, but nevertheless, there he is. He signed me up without my consent to be a part of a group of atheists on Facebook whose sole purpose is to continually undermine the Christian faith and to promote ultra-left liberal politics. He thought it would be fun, or at the very least, acknowledging that we make the claim that it has all the answers. At least they understand that. Well, it does, and I can't apologize for it. Somehow they are offended that believers turn to the scriptures for godly wisdom, direction, revelation, revealing the nature, plans, and purposes of God, but in the same breath, and made sure that no one could add me to it again. As they imply that science provides all the answers, and that Christians are mindless and will not accept the answers that science gives. Questions for all your answers. That's what Christians do. Give me a break. First of all, it's outside the scope of science to provide answers to anything. Science can only tell you how the natural world works and nothing else. And as for its so-called answers, no discovery or theory is absolute, because down the road, new research may indeed overturn it and prove it false or faulty. Science can't tell you how to be upright and decent. It can't show you how to make wise decisions, do the right thing, or even know what the right thing is. It is philosophically anemic, because it's not a philosophical discipline. All it can do is tell you how the machinery of the universe works. And even there, absolute statements must be treated with caution. Science can't prove or disprove the existence of God. It can't tell you if an ideal or conviction is true or false. It is what it is. And when anyone implies that science provides answers, that is, answers to life, one must ask, what kind of answers to what kind of questions? Now, I know where this post is coming from. The implication is that people of faith are in denial and question the scientific facts, denying them to hang on to their myths and legends. If that's the case, what are they worried about? Mindless people of faith should be no challenge to these self-proclaimed oracles of science. Science moves on in spite of them. But wait a minute. Are the questions challenging the facts of science coming from mindless people of faith? No. A growing group of people within the scientific community are asking the questions that are shaking the sensitivities of devotees of scientific sacred cows. The theory of evolution is being questioned. The notion that all things evolved from random chance is under attack. Evidence of intelligent design is being put forward, not by people of faith, but by scientists. Darwin, the Zeus of the anti-theistic pantheon of divinities, is under attack, and the faithful are agitated. How do they respond? With unscientific tirades founded on utterly shaky premises and silly infantile posts on Facebook that simple truth can shred to pieces. And how about this quote from Professor Richard Dawkins? Well, nature looks designed, but it really isn't. It looks designed, but it isn't? No one in his right mind would apply that statement to anything ordered or intricate. Imagine saying that about something as simple as a loaf of bread. Well, this looks baked, but it really isn't. It looks like bread, it tastes like bread, it seems to have come from a baker, but it isn't really bread because there is no such thing as a baker. You wouldn't conclude that with simple bread, yet atheistic science flippantly declares this about all creation. Besides, how do you know if something even looks designed? It seems too much a strain on the brain to conclude the obvious. It looks designed because it is designed. But that brings us one step closer to God, doesn't it? And if God exists, perhaps we are all accountable to Him. Unthinkable. And even more unthinkable is the thought of having biblical ideals govern us or even propagated. They must be snuffed out. People must be liberated from faith. Laws must be passed and enforced that either restrict or forbid faith because it's just bad for everybody. That is the message that's being shouted from the rooftops by frustrated anti-theists who would deliver us all from God. In spite of this, one can easily make the argument that godlessness produces societal corruption and decay. The reverse is far more difficult, to prove that Judeo-Christian ideals spoil a nation. Sure, there is corruption everywhere, but less so when God is honored. Another post from someone else in the group proclaimed that religion is finished. Wishful thinking, my friend. Religion, or faith, I prefer that word, is far from finished. To my agitated atheist friends, I must ask, if faith is finished, why must you repeat the point over and over and over again? Perhaps you would like it to be finished and are working hard towards that direction, promoting your own beliefs instead. But may I remind you that once you do that, you are outside science, you have entered into the world of politics, philosophy, and, dare I say it, jihad. Oh yes, it's jihad. A war seeking to destroy my faith so that you can establish yours. Once again, all this brings to mind that we Christians are all going to have to be compelled to give a defense for what we believe at one time or another. But I have to wonder, have the caricatures and stereotypes imposed on Christians affected you in any way? Perhaps you've bought into the package that we are anti-intellectual, we've denied all reason, are mindless, poor fools hanging on to a myth and hoping for heaven, which is a pipe dream. Maybe some of us would agree that we are in denial of what science has revealed, that the Bible is not reliable, and anyone who believes in it must do so in a blind leap of faith. Well, that would make anybody weak. What do you really believe? And can you defend what you believe? May I go a step further and ask you, are you able to challenge the anti-theistic mindset and be so effective that you raise questions and doubts in the unbeliever about his unbelief? I believe that we have the authority and the power to do so, and it's time that we did. You don't have to be a genius. A simple testimony of what Jesus has done for you is often more than enough, because it establishes that you are a first-hand witness of the truth, that it's not just a theory, and you are able to say, in full sincerity of truth, what the Apostle John says in his first epistle, chapter 1, verses 1 to 4. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon and our hands have handled concerning the word of life, the life was manifested, and we have seen and bear witness and declare to you that eternal life which was with the Father and was manifested to us. That which we have seen and heard we've declared to you, that you may have fellowship with us, and truly our fellowship is with the Father and His Son Jesus Christ, and these things we write to you, that your joy may be full.
Let your kingdom come, let your will be done, let your glory be made known in our city. Let your grace abound as our praise resound. Let your love through us be shown in our land.
Well, that brings us to the end of another Impact podcast with Pastor Alex Lappos. I'd like to take some time to tell you about some of the other resources we offer on this YouTube channel, The House Montreal. You can join our live service on Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Or if you're not available to do that, you can join us for our Bible study posted on Wednesday morning on this same YouTube channel, The House Montreal. If you'd like to write to me, you can do so at pastorlappos@gmail.com. That's Pastor Lappos, Lappos, @gmail.com. Or you can join us at our website at www.thehousemontreal.org. That's www.thehousemontreal.org, so you can find out all you can about this church ministry. And now this is Alex Lappos saying, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may his abiding presence be with you always. Bye-bye now.